Yeah, I do think that we have to get together as a community somehow, because it has to be almost an open forum type deal where we all get together and discuss where are we going to, where are we at, and got to get everybody on the same page too, because I think there's a lot of misinformation out there that people think is going on or think has happened that hasn't happened or is going on and nobody knows about it. That's a pressure that
I know a lot of people
we have to talk
know until the end, until this happened, and we're picketing, and then everybody jumps in, but they really don't understand the problem and what the problem is, and we as a community have to pull together to try to help these officials, and be willing to tighten the belt a little bit and, maybe give a little bit more. But, we as a community need to come together. If this is what we want to happen, we all have to be on the same page and be heard. And I think they need to let us be heard a little bit more and maybe, Early
in the session this year, Delegate Beitzel came out and called this a war on Western Maryland,
right,
from downstate. And I thought maybe it was overstated a bit, but as a result of things that happened and did not happen, and the bunkers that we have all retreated to, and the holes of explosions of budgets, so to speak, that have been created, you'd have to say that there is a war on Western Maryland or of some sort going on. Actually, it was probably a war on the whole state, because at the end of the day, they left a lot of work undone downstate, and it's really
sad. I know Maryland's not the only one. It's a nationwide thing, and we did have to, with such a huge budget that was left. I know things have to be done and things have to be cut, but I just don't think it needs to start with our children. I think we need to look in different areas. To me, that should be the very, very last thing that is touched, is the nurturing and the education of our children. Like I said, I just think our priorities are kind of out of whack, and maybe some of these legislatures and stuff need to tighten their belt a little bit more and say, hey, I don't need to be making millions of dollars a year where I've got teachers out here with 40 kids in a classroom trying to teach them, And you have so many levels of children's education nowadays, and, we've discovered more with the autisms and different learning disabilities, and, and that's very challenging to a teacher. I've been in that setting, and I know what it's like to try to have 30 students and you've got them on 20 different levels, and that is very, that's very exhausting and very trying to the teachers themselves. And if this does go down, I employ all the people in the county to maybe take some time on your day off and be a volunteer at one of the schools or something, to help out that way, because it's very rewarding, and it's very, very helpful to the teachers, gives them a little break and eases up their tensions as well. So.
Okay.
Well, all right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you listening to me. I'll climb off my soapbox now and let someone else have a turn, but
thanks
I'll be listening, Paul.
Okay, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Train of Thought on 92.3 The Train, 301-334-4272, 301-334-3800, the numbers to call. Jump in and give us your thoughts. And that was a freewheeling call there. You could tell where the caller was coming from as far as the education and the closing of schools go. But we got into some other things. And getting back to the heart of what I would think, I would say that our situation is dependent upon all of us becoming involved in the discussion. Let people know what we're thinking about. Have another caller on Train of Thought this morning. Let's go to the lines and say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What do you think?
I actually work at the school board as a substitute.
Okay, you're a little bit muffled.
Thank pardon?
You're a little bit muffled there. Go ahead.
I've done custodial work.
Yeah.
At Kitzmiller, Southern High, Southern Middle. I've done some first-hand work at Dennett Road.
Okay.
I know what teachers go through, and it's sad to see that their classes are growing in number.
Mm-hmm.
I was just listening to the lady on the phone right before me, and I agree with all her concerns.
Yeah.
But the one thing I don't get is, I know on the school board's website, they have their 5-year plan on how to save money.
Correct.
Last year, the county commissioners gave Kitzmiller $700,000 to stay open. But
Well,
on their 5-year plan, if they close it, it's only going to save them about $230,000.
Okay.
I'm curious to see where the other 400 and some thousand went.
Well, last year, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but the commissioners, and this came out on the show last week, County Administrator Monty Pegenhardt said the commissioners put enough money in the budget, and it was requested in the budget to have enough money in there for Bloomington and Kitzmiller to remain open. So I think that's where the discrepancy is between those figures. They actually wound up closing Bloomington, as you know, and that's where we wound up as there was some additional money then after they closed Bloomington, and there was some used for some maintenance projects and some used for a minor pay raise. We'll just leave it at that for members of the system. I don't know how many members of the system and who got what pay raises, but that did come out.
When they do close Dennett Road, do they have any plans to what they're going to do with the building?
Well, I've heard some things. I will tell you that the way it happens, if a school closes, eventually the school system turns around and gives it back to the county, and then the county disposes of it. And that happened in Bloomington.
Right.
But I've heard that it may be used in some sort of maintenance facility for this Board of Education. That's just a proposal that's out there, nothing final, just one of those things that you hear talk about, but that's one of the things. And I know that there's also a willingness and a desire to make sure that the gymnasium there continues to be used by the community, and of course the playgrounds, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I've heard.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I just thank you for letting me speak my voice.
Hey, that's great. Do it any time, and we need more of it. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
301-334-4272, 301-334-3800, the numbers to call. Good morning. You're on Train of Thought.
Hi, my name is Danielle Martin, and I'm with the group, the Parents for Garrett County Education.
Okay, Danielle.
We've been looking into all the different things going on with the whole closings and stuff like that. And people were concerned about, the commissioners giving the money last year to keep those schools open. The board kind of shrugged it off until I asked for audits. When I asked for the audits, I found out how much pay increases were to the board, but, teachers really didn't see any of that. There was about almost $400,000 in just pay raises, which, it kind of made our commissioners look bad when they're trying to help out by trying to save our schools, and they turn around and use it to put money in their pockets.
Yeah, I know the commissioners couldn't have been too happy with the way that turned out, but at the same time, they will tell you that they can allocate the money, but they have no direct control over how it's spent.
Yeah, and that's the sad part, because, they really wanted to keep Bloomington open too. And it's the same as this year. We've been working with the commissioners, and we've worked with people downstate, because, we really do need a special ed department. And it's going to be hard on these kids if they close down, because that's a big transition for them from what they're being used to. And so we are working on an appeal right now, and we are actually putting out petitions that if people want to sign them, that they feel that they want to be part of the appeal. We're asking that people get in contact with us, get the appeal petition signed, and they told us downstate, the more people that we have involved, the better it'll be. So we're working around. We've got our Facebook pages that we've got going and stuff like that. So if anybody wants to get involved, the more people to help out, the better it's going to be.
Do you have a deadline that you're working with? Because certainly the Board of Education had to make a decision in their minds by the end of this month. And of course, school is going to open up at the end of August next year, with or without the schools. Have they given you a timeline downstate on when you have to have petitions in, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, we have to have, they said to get the appeal in as soon as possible. We have 30 days from the date that the board has given the decision. We have 30 days to get an appeal in. And then they will take it from there. I asked them about, how the Board of Ed saying they have to have a balanced budget done by the 30th if it affects us with our appeal. They told me no, just we need to get an appeal in. If that's what we are wanting to do, the appeal for both schools, Denton Road and Kitzmiller, that we need to get the appeal in.
Okay, so it's ASAP, but I would imagine that sometime within the next month you're going to be filing some documents with the State Board of Education.
Yes, we're actually hoping to get it all filed by the middle of next week.
Okay, very good.
So we're going to try our best because our kids need it. I mean, I had my sons come home last night and tell me that they were going to save their school, and I said, how are you going to do that? And they said, well, Mommy, we're going to go and we're going to make flowers in our class, and we're going to sell them for 2 cents each because we can make so much money. We'll have enough money to save the school. That killed me.
Oh, I'm choking up hearing about that right now. That's very impressive, and it is an emotional issue.